play. Mini War Gaming's Beat Map Batrep.
Welcome back to Beat Map Batrep Season 2, Episode 26, Dark Angels vs. Tyranids. Tyranids, Round 4. We're going to see if the Gene Stealers are finally come in. They need a 2+, and yes, they both come in. They outflank. They came in the side that I want them to, which means those Terminators and that Land Raider, they're just in trouble, let me just put it that way. The Brood Lord and his posse of 12 Gene Stealers come in the one side, and then the 10 other Gene Stealers come in the other side. Now these guys are all decked out. Scything Talons, Toxin Sacs, Adrenal Glands, they got Furious Charge, they got Poison Attacks, they get to reroll 1s on the hit. Tervagon then repositions as well as the Termagants to take on these last Terminators here. So if I can flush them out from that side, then he won't be able to take my objective, and then I can use the Gene Stealers to take his objective, which means I could try to win. Firing tons of shots. Not as many as last time, of course, because a few of the Termagants have died. Doing it in 2 volleys here. Manage a bunch of wounds, and he rolls, and he makes all of his 2+ saves. Tervagon then takes his 4 shots, manages 2 wounds, and he makes both of those saves. So lots of 2+ saves happening there. Gene Stealers then run, because they do have fleet. And then the Brood Lord and his group run, because they also have fleet, so they're going to be able to charge. The 2 Termagants will then fire at the Terminators, actually manage 2 hits and 2 wounds. And he makes those armor saves. So going to go into close combat, these guys will have Furious Charge and Toxin Sacs, and the Tervagon decides to join in as well. Here we get a nice complex multi-assault, so they have to go into base contact with whoever they can, and then once they are all in base contact, then they can choose to go into base contact with something else, so they choose the Land Raider. These guys do the same thing, a bunch of them assault, and then a couple of them get into base contact with the Land Raider, just because they want to make sure it dies as well. Although it's pretty hard for Gene Stealers to take on a Land Raider, the Tervagon will definitely help. So, close combat with the Terminators. Managed to kill 2 of them. So 2 of them go down. The Thunderhammer's still alive. The Tervagon then gets to hit because he's initiative 2 with his Furious Charge. And he manages only 1 hit and rolled twice. Right, Toxin Sacs. He hits on a 4, re-rolling. Thunderhammer then hits back and he completely smushes the Termagant, but loses combat by 1, but stays alive. So he's stuck in there, holding that objective. The Tervagon then gets automatic hits against the Land Raider because he's, well, immobilized. And so far not rolling too well, but there's 1 penetrating hit right there. I believe that's a glancing hit as well. Glancing, penetrating, and nothing, and nothing. So here we are, we're rolling, and it explodes. So there's actually Gene Stealers nearby, and I think it manages to nick the Brood Lord, but does not hurt it. The Tervagon then attacks, gets 3 hits on the Land Raider, and actually manages a good solid penetrating hit, which explodes with all the Gene Stealers around. So 2 inches, thankfully, was all it rolled, and manages to hit a bunch of Gene Stealers, and does not manage to kill any of those ones, but hits the other group and manages a couple wounds and does kill one of the Gene Stealers with the explosion. The Tervagon gets hit, but does not get wounded, and the Terminator, which is right there, does get wounded, but makes his save no problem, and then the Land Raider is removed. So that's crazy awesome for the Tervagon there. And then going after, yeah, there's a psychic attack by the, or psychic test from the Brood Lord trying to make it so that Belial can't attack, but he does not succeed in all of that. And then the Brood Lord attacks Belial and manages to knock him down a wound. The rest of the Gene Stealers go after the rank and file Terminators, if there is such a thing. And you can probably predict what is going to be happening here, with 3 attacks each, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and then Toxin Sacs, so wounding on 4s, re-rolling, with 6s rending. He is taking a lot of heat just from this first group. So the first group of Gene Stealers manages to kill 3 out of 4 of those Terminators. It's quite impressive, actually, that the Terminators can stand up to that many attacks and still survive. Then we get the few attacks against Belial from the other group of Gene Stealers, and they manage to rend him once and wound him twice, and he makes the saves on the non-rending, but fails to save on the rending one. So he goes down to 1 wound. Then the rest of the Gene Stealers go on that last poor Terminator, and this is all the same initiative, so they were in base contact with the other Terminators, so they still get to fight and kill the last one. Belial then gets to hit, manages 1 hit, but does get to re-roll because of Mastercrafted, so manages 2 hits, and does manage to kill one of the Gene Stealers. Loses combat by a lot, by 4, and dies. So at this point he realizes, I can't win, and we have a Tyranid victory. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that battle report. Unfortunately, Deathwing did not prevail. The Dark Angels were taken down. That last round of the Gene Stealers come in and just kind of seal the deal. Yep. And just couldn't stand up to the numbers, unfortunately. Weight of dice. Yeah, weight of dice. Just so many dice, eventually you fail those. Even with all those spectacular saves. Still eventually had to roll those ones.
Yeah.
I hope that you enjoyed this battle report, though. Vault members, stay tuned for the post-game show where we'll talk about tactics and everything else. If you're not a Vault member, why not? You got to join. There's a link below to the post-game show, which will help you join the Vault as well. Stay tuned for more battle reports with Beatmap Batrep or Banter Batrep or WOG battle reports, and happy wargaming.